Morning. It is 11 o'clock, and as advertised, we will go ahead and open this public hearing. This is one of 3 scheduled public hearings to receive comments from the public regarding the proposed mill rate advertised. If I could get y'all to sign in, please, just as a record of your attendance. Thank you. This is one of 3 hearings. There will be another one this evening at 6 p.m. and again on the 14th at 4 p.m. And the board is scheduled to consider the proposed mill rate at 5:15 p.m. on Thursday, August the 14th. And so again, this is a public hearing. We're here to receive comments and anything you would like us to know about the proposed mill rate, which is 7.5 mills. And so the podium is yours. Whoever would like to speak, we're here to receive your comments.
I'll be happy to start this thing on.
Okay.
My name is Steve Bennett. I live out here in Walmart.
Okay.
You're saying on your top here that you haven't raised the mill rate since 2018. My question is, since 2018, how many times have you raised our fair market value of our home?
Well, like I said, we're not here to debate, but Polk County does not raise.
If you raise the fair market value of our home, as the millage rate will increase on our property taxes.
Okay, yeah, I'm not going to debate that with you, but
Not
Polk
going
County,
to the conversation?
the Polk County Board of Assessors sets values of property, and the Polk County.
It all works in hand to hand.
sets mill rates.
My name's Chuck Rose. I live at 1874 Fish Creek Road. In 23, my taxes, and I know you don't want to talk about the assessments, but I want to talk a little bit about the assessments. My taxes were $1,798.93. In 24, they went up to $2,742.08. That was an increase 1 year of $943.15. Part of that has to do with millage, part of it has to do with the assessment. I had my property has been reassessed again this year, and I have appealed it, and I heard back on the appeal. But this is getting to be ridiculous. These people cannot afford these kind of increases and can't afford to live in this county if you're going to keep. It's a game that seems to be being played between the tax assessors and the rates and the school board. It's ridiculous the amount of money that we're having to pay and the increases in taxes. And a lot of people, like myself, are on fixed income, retired. I don't have to go back to work just so I can pay my taxes and insurance. But that's what this is coming down to. It's becoming ridiculous what people are having to pay.
First, I do appreciate that Polk County has made an effort to keep our mill rate low. Everybody else is keep raising it. But what we're facing right now is that the school board is conducting hearings to raise the mill rate. We haven't heard from the city of Cedartown, and we live in the city limits. I wish I had that gentleman's tax bill. Our tax bill is just over $8,000. $8,000 because we live in the city limits. We're retired. You have to understand how hard that hits us as retired people. Our homeowners insurance keeps rising. I know that you've received somewhere between $3.5 and $4 million in increased tax revenue. I'm sure a lot of that is because of the raised fair market values that the assessor's office keeps pushing. Now we can't raise our fair market values because of a law that was passed last year more than the CPI, so now our mill rates are going up. So what we're facing right now is an increase from the school board, possible increase from the county, and I'm sure another increase from the city of Cedartown. I looked at all of your financials online that I could find, and it looks like that without that $4 million, half went to public safety on the fire department and police department, a few increased employees over the years, about 9 total employees, but then the other half went to salaries and benefits. So as you look at decreasing the mill rate, I think it would have been more productive to look at how that impacted people. So as fast as the money was coming in, it was going out. So $4 million of increased revenue went out in those services. And I know it costs more to maintain staff, but $2 million over 4 years is a lot of money for about 207 employees. That's a lot of money, salaries and benefits. The school board, they put their benefits up. It's ridiculous what they pay in benefits to their employees and their salaries as well. When you have a finite budget and 72% of your budget comes from our tax dollar, it would be more beneficial to the taxpayer to really look at how we can maintain some kind of flat level of services or small increases of 2 or 3%. Like most businesses, when you have a certain amount of income, you balance your budget coming through. The other thing that doesn't seem to be considered by anybody, I know the school board is trying to get this senior tax rebate, is an increase in the homestead exemption for seniors. So instead of reducing the mill rates, when you did multiple times, wouldn't it have been much more beneficial to say, to help the seniors on a fixed income, let's increase our homestead exemption? I know Trey Kelly is all for that, trying to help seniors here. Literally, you are taxing some of our friends out of their homes. We've talked to people. Thankfully, we can afford it, but we have to cut back on everything else. But there are some people who are so strapped that they're going to have to look at selling their home that they've lived in for 50 years, a lot of them widows, because they cannot afford to continue paying the increased taxes. I'm sure you're seeing more and more default on the tax bill here. I know the school board said, $400,000 in deferred taxes because people can't pay their taxes on time. So what's their solution? Raise the taxes. There'll be more people defaulting, especially more seniors. So here in Polk County, we do have a high number of senior homeowners. And it's getting really ridiculous. With more money coming in, more is being spent, and the seniors are being taxed to death. And I know that struggling young families have a problem too because they have kids to raise, that's more money. But something needs to be done here. When I have a single family home and I'm paying $8,000 a year in taxes to live in the city of Stevens and Polk County. I mean that, if you compare that over the line in Alabama, it's a fractional cost over there. So you're pushing people out of the county as well, which is only going to aggravate your situation. If more and more people are leaving, and you have more and more renters, the rents keep going up, they're going to leave too. They can't afford to be here. So it really is a snowball effect every time they raise the mill rate. For a while it was the fair market value. It's like, oh yeah, you can raise the mill rate, but you raise the fair market value and taxes keep going up. And now they can't raise the fair market value, so the mill rates are going up. Everything keeps going up. The cost of doing business does go up, but when you have 72% of your budget coming from taxes, we would hope that you look at trying to keep those things in line with your incomes without continually raising taxes. I do commend this commission for keeping their mill rates low, but there are other things that you need to look at. Unfortunately, you're trying to raise your mill rate for the first time in a while when everyone else is raising theirs. So everyone is really concerned. They don't look at it as separate entities because your tax bill is your tax bill. And you have to pay the whole thing. Say, I pay more to the city than I pay to the county. Or the city county than I pay to the county. But I'm sure that you announce something else too. It's ridiculous. So whatever you can do to amend your budget to keep our taxes down, we do appreciate that. And we would ask that we look at something else for seniors, perhaps, looking at the homestead exemption as you move forward to give the seniors, even seniors over 70, you don't have to always do it over 65. Those people that are going to lose their home, it breaks my heart that they have to leave the home they lived in with spouses that are gone now, the place they've lived in for decades and decades, because they can't pay their bill. And that's unfortunately what they're being faced with. That's the reality here for a lot of people. So we appreciate anything you can do to help those seniors stay in their home and help people stay in this county. Thank you.
What was your name?
Barbara Schroeder.
Thank you.
My name is Debbie Conlon, and I just have one question. And I've
been struggling with it for a while now. You had a small decrease in the budget, and if anything I say is not true, just to let me know. You had a small decrease in the budget for 2026. That's right? So, in my mind, if we had a small decrease in our budget, and we still cut in certain areas like public safety, which is not something that I'm really a fan of, because I think public safety is what I pay for my taxes for. I don't get a lot of it, because I asked for it a couple of weeks ago, and I got zero support for public safety. Okay? But that, in my mind, that's really what I benefit from Polk County for paying taxes. So if we had a decrease in our budget, why do we have an increase in our millage? Okay? It doesn't make sense to me. All right? If you're going to decrease your budget and say everything's going along just fine, leave the millage rate alone. There's no, unless you can come up with a good reason on how you increase it. Do we have delinquencies? What do we? I know we don't have surpluses, like you said, anymore, and we can't depend on those surpluses. But if we were able to cut our budget a little bit, we should be able to sustain our millage rate the way it was.
The budget does reflect the reasons in the other funding sources, so I would direct your attention to the other funding sources in the revenue section.
In the finance sources of the revenue section, what is that section?
It's savings account.
It's what?
It's savings. It's the savings account.
Which we don't have.
It's being used.
It's being used. So we don't have any surpluses, right?
Yeah, we do, but it's being used. That's what.
Being used for.
That's why we're trying to reduce the dependency on that.
Can you tell me what it's being used for?
The balanced budget.
The balanced budget. Oh, so we, in order to keep the budget where it is, we had to use our surpluses. And is this our last? Will we have any next year?
Yes, we will.
Okay. And you said that we can't depend on the landfill? Well, I thought that was the purpose of the landfill.
The landfill is incorporated into the budget as part of revenue.
But that gives us some substantial money.
About 1.5 million a year.
1.5. But we took that out of the budget and put it somewhere else.
No, it's an enterprise fund. It's not part of the general fund. It's an enterprise fund.
Okay. Oh, that just corresponds to that sheriff thing that we moved to 1.5.
That was used out of that, but we changed it.
Okay. So just to recap here, you say we decreased our budget and we have to use our surplus this year to get the budget to where it is today. So we have to get a higher millage rate to substantially offset all of that. Okay. Well, it does hurt. You know. I purchased here three and a half years ago in Cherokee County, and I was completely in shock at the amount of Polk County and Cedar County taxes. So I'm definitely considering moving somewhere else too. And I heard about the possible sales tax. It might be on the ballot, so I would vote for that. Deborah Freeman. Yeah, I live in Cedar County. Also, it's hard to hear for some of us back there. If you guys could use the microphones.
Sorry. Is that better?
Are they on?
Either on.
I think that one is. Okay. Are you not speaking?
That one is on.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You have to get kind of close. It's weird.
Again, also, I'm here. Yes, I can piggyback on a lot of what is already said. There's a lot of concerned citizens here in this community because we do have an older population of homeowners. And with the school tax hikes from last year and the current proposed hikes of this year, there's a lot of people who are afraid they're going to lose their homes. And that's absolutely happening. And these are the people that built this community that we know today. Your parents and your grandparents. So, I can say boo-boo, whatnot. But I have a potential solution that I really wish you guys would look into. Do you realize that Floyd County and Alabama, well, Alabama already has this in effect, which is why they can have such lower property taxes, is that they actually incorporate a sales tax where they get 90% of their money. When we have 91% of renters, this helps to distribute money evenly through the county and amongst the people. Floyd County is also creating a budget for this, or looking into this and putting it on their ballot. I think this is a viable option to help bring this community out of the increasingly high tax problem that we're seeing this year and last year. This is ridiculous. Between the school in 2024 and now 2025, and you guys, that is a 27% hike on landowners in a fiscal year. That is absurd. I have income coming in, and that is a huge budget I have to now figure out. Even though I have an income that can change and alter and budget, that's still a lot of money. Regardless of what you guys did to help keep our taxes lower, this is coming at a really bad time. But I really, really, really want you guys to look into what your neighboring counties are doing, because if it's cheaper to move to Alabama or Rome, that's what's going to happen. And then who's going to pay for taxes when everybody does? I mean, you didn't write any of that down. I don't guess y'all really cared, but...
I'm recording it.
Oh, okay. Really look into it. It's in their own paper. Alabama's already doing it. People have already left to go to Alabama because they can afford to live there. When their property taxes for decent homes and land are $300 a year versus $2,000 a year, that is a no-brainer. Not only that, it just makes fiscal money sense to spread your taxation across the entire community. People that purchase goods that they're already buying, clothes, groceries, gas. There's no reason why we can't adopt that same principle and reduce our millage rates across the board. Like I said, I could boo-boo and all that. But I think that that is a viable solution that we really, 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 I want to see action on. I want to see you guys looking into that. And you'll see a lot more with me. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Morris Collins. I live in the county, out on Clubview, near Cherokee Golf Course. I hadn't planned to make any comments, but having listened to my fellows here, obviously I echo their agreement. I've just retired. Fortunately, financially, I've done okay. But 3 points I'd just like to make. One, how much effort from the city commission and the county to attract more and more industry here. Obviously, there's been the solar recycling is coming in, but we have a significant lack of industry, therefore a significant lack of corporate taxes, which to me should be the majority or a major basis for funding city services, county services, etc. So how much effort is the council working with outside entities, etc., to attract and retain more industry?
It's an ongoing effort.
But it's obviously not been very successful.
We have not been that successful.
So, what are the plans, or are there any? If what you're doing is not working, then a change of tactics, to me, is very much indicated. I worked in the corporate world for 45 years. I ran a business with over $80 million in turnover. Obviously, if my sales didn't meet my expenses, something had to change. If I couldn't generate more sales, I had to make hard choices in terms of assets, people, benefits, salaries.
I know, obviously, being a small, I was raised here, my parents were born here. The pool of talent, you got very close neighbors, you got best friends, you got family that work together, so you're managing some of those people, and it's a hard choice. But in the corporate world, for an entity to survive and prosper, sometimes you make very hard choices. It's hard to tell somebody in December, sorry, we're laying you off, here's 30 days, good luck, we appreciate 30 years of service. But at the end of the day, that's the way the corporate world works. Number two, I don't mind paying more taxes if I see more for my money in terms of goods, services, amenities, etc. I've been living back in Cedar Town, 25 years. I've lived from South Carolina, North Carolina, other parts of Georgia, due to my work, whatever, travel all over the world. I don't see additional services, amenities, etc. that signify or justify the huge increases over the last 36, 48 months in the tax base, whether in county or city. So, what am I actually getting additionally for this additional tax money? So, and as I said, third, just a lack of fortitude in making hard choices, whether in personnel or services, to meet your budget. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ricky Lee. I was born right here, Cedar County, Georgia, right out there beside the beside McDonald's. I've been here 65 years. My family's been here about 85 years. We've been paying taxes all week. All of a sudden, we got the highest tax increases we've ever seen in our life. We just voted down the millage rate on a year ago or something like that. And we turn around and come in the back door with this raised property tax. Same deal, that's the same thing, it's money up. That's crooked, man, that's crooked. That's crooked. And we all know we're taking care of all these folks with money people. Most of them, it's like Billy Lundy said, they don't have homes, they don't pay taxes. Well, look how many kids, you know how many kids is in that school over there that used to not be in that school? I do. Because I know they work them up for them. I know how many more would be. About 600, 700 more. And therefore our money's going to go. I know it's going to the building housing part. I know all of that's going on. But it's crooked to try to take our land. I built my mom and daddy's house for $50,000 with these two hands right here. And I moved them in. Now y'all send me a letter that says worth $210,000. Where's that fella that wants to buy that thing for $210,000? I'm taking my share of that. Y'all know nothing about housing. I've built houses for 40 years. I know a little bit about building. I know what it costs and I know what it's worth. Ain't worth nothing if they're not for sale. My stuff ain't for sale. Right where my daddy's mouth would take care of my place, son, and I remember disobeying my daddy a day in my life. And I'll be standing in that driveway when you're going to get that money. I'll be standing there waiting on you. I'm afraid that God will come to get you. But God making the decision for all of us sitting out here today. Every one of us has to abide by what we decide. Now, we done been to the highest tax increases that we've ever seen. And we told y'all with that vote, we didn't want no more. Is that enough? I'm going to tell every one of you, I make $994 a month. That's what I draw, retirement. How much my taxes are? I sure it's way more than $994 a month. What I'm supposed to do for the rest of the time. Don't pay no bills, don't eat, don't do what. I've never had a kid of my own. I don't have a kid, but I'm still paying. They're over there on the hill, paying them big taxes. Now I've raised 7 kids for different families that didn't have to, they're young to know. I raised the kids for them. I paid for that out of my pocket. I believe I paid my part. I believe I've done my part for Polk County. I've done, me and my daddy done $100,000 worth of money back when I was head of Murata Electronics. I was second command of the world's largest electronics company before I got hurt. Now We paid for this county. We took care of children, we took care of the needy. I still got a 91-year-old lady, I got a 40-year-old psychiatric patient. I still watch what the Bible tells me to do. And I try to do what's right. And that's what I'm asking y'all to do what's right. It ain't about the money. It's about the people that live here that put this place here. Without all of us here, you wouldn't have nothing to be worried about no place. It wouldn't be about no money. You'd be somewhere else costing up money somewhere. It's about us where we're living and where you gonna put us out in the street. But you know, I hear a lot of talk out there. A lot of people ain't going out in the street. I guarantee you they ain't in the street. Y'all think about that. We've been here all our life. If they come to your home, if you walk out in the street, I don't think you would. Thank you for your time, sir.
Anyone else like to speak?
I'm Donnie Brooklyn, I live here in Cedartown. I hadn't been here but about a year. Come from Polk County in Georgia. Got property in Alabama too. And I just cannot believe the taxes that we have to pay here in Cedartown, or Trinity. But I'm just here because what I'm hearing, I agree with everybody, what they're saying. I don't understand everything, I'm not smart when it comes to that, but I know that the taxes are too high here in Polk County and Cedartown for what's going on here. It's too much. Polk County taxes was a good bit lower, and at 62, school taxes went away. That don't happen here. Elderly people are going to be paying taxes from now on, and they can't afford it. And it's just, I don't think the taxes are right here. So I'm just here to witness and see. And I'm going to come back this evening to see if more people come this evening. I don't know, hope so. But I just wanted to voice my opinion. I agree with what y'all said.
There is no one else here to speak. We will close this public hearing, and we will be back here again at 6 p.m. this evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.